Today is going to be a really fun video because I'm actually going to be responding and reacting to a video that I created 3 years about why we don't celebrate Christmas. I'm also going to be sharing with you some of the comments to those videos. So every year I put out a video on why we don't celebrate Christmas, and every year the no Christmas debate just keeps getting more and more interesting, and especially since I've put myself out there on YouTube and speaking about it publicly, I'm getting a lot more criticism, a lot more support. It's just really interesting. So this is a video from 3 years ago, and I was curious this morning to check it out to see if I changed, altered my thoughts, all the things. So I'm gonna dive right into this, and I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna set links. Actually, I have a whole entire playlist. I'm gonna stick that playlist up here as well as down in the description box below. So the video I'm specifically reviewing is called Why We Don't Celebrate Christmas. Messianic believers are Jews and Gentiles that come together to worship the Lord. We believe in the triune God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. We believe that He was born, He died, He raised, He ascended into heaven. All of that is really important to us. But the one thing that sets us apart from Christianity is that we believe in the fullness of the Torah. And we do our best to keep the Torah and honor the Torah, but we always put Messiah first. And we celebrate that. And part of that is celebrating the high holidays, which are absolutely beautiful to us. Now, one of the reasons, actually the main reason we don't celebrate Christmas is because in our household, I feel like I should totally keep this a surprise because that's why you clicked on the video. I don't want you to keep watching. I just wanted to dab on a couple things that I just said briefly, is that we like to keep the fullness of the Torah. I'm gonna leave a video, actually an interview that I did with Mr. Caleb Haig. I'm gonna leave that down, or actually I'm gonna stick it up here that you can check out if you wanna dig deeper into that section. But like I said before, all those things that I believe, I still believe. And the point, put Messiah first. That is so true, that He is the only sacrifice that could ever give us salvation and eternal life. So I'm gonna leave that there and let that hang, but everything that I just said was absolutely true. By the way, I am gonna say my little secret, so I'm gonna fast forward ahead. But I also know that a lot of this information is kind of new for a lot of people, so it's probably good to watch the whole thing if you are newly starting to get involved with some of these high holy days. So the reason we don't is because we want to highlight those high holidays when those high holidays come around. So a big one is in the month of September, October approximately, because it doesn't match up with our Gregorian calendar. It changes a little bit, so slightly every year, but they're the fall holidays. That's your Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and even some Keturah. That's a big deal to us, and we actually take pretty much the whole entire month. We also take Passover off, which is kind of like in the middle of spring break. It usually falls the same time Christians have Easter. I have videos on all of those. That is when I shared that, I was convicted myself because we don't always take the whole month of September off to celebrate those high holy days. We take a lot of it off and we relax a lot, but we still keep chugging through some of the academics. And I do feel like the fact that I live in America, I'm kind of forced to follow the American calendar and the culture of America. And it has been a really struggle, especially with a family and kids that are involved with different co-ops and different friend groups that are very Christian. They follow the calendar that is very American. So for me to want to take off a month in September, October during the fall high holidays, it's so hard. So we'll take, for example, this year for Sukkot, we took pretty much the week off. We lightened everything up. Every once in a while I was like, y'all need to do some IEW because you're gonna get behind. And they would do IEW. For the most part, we were going to parties. We were, celebrating with friends. This season, during Christmas, all of their Christian friends are going crazy with dressing up. I mean, at our homeschool co-op is PJ Day tomorrow, and everybody wants to dress up in PJs, including my daughter. Of course, I'm like, let's get a big Hanukkah. She don't want to do that because she feels awkward. And that is hard, especially with teenagers and preteens, because now I have teenagers and preteens. They don't want to feel awkward. And I know being a homeschool in general, you kind of feel awkward. Not anymore, because it's changed so much. So many people are homeschooling that it is becoming a social norm to do it. So then when you're going to homeschool co-ops and meeting you with your friends that are dressing up in PJs and celebrating Christmas, there is that peer pressure to kind of do that in order to fit in. And it's been something that's been really, really challenging with my preteens and my teens. And when I said to her, you know, we could wear Hanukkah PJs, she's like, no, no, Mom, it has to be Christmas themed. And we ended up bargaining on doing PJs that are neutral. They're squishmallows. Look, I'm sharing this story with you because these are the kind of things that is happening to us because of the American culture. And as a Messianic believer who celebrates Hanukkah, but also really celebrates those high holy days, it is a struggle. So the best that I can do is try to make some good memories with those high holy days and not play up Christmas so much. I could care less, honestly, at this point in my life, if somebody celebrates Christmas or not. I really don't. I don't want to argue against someone over whether or not it's pagan or not, because that comes up a lot. Let's move on to the video. I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I don't want to spend this whole video watching my video because, like I said, I just want to highlight. Now, when it comes to Christmas, it's a beautiful holiday. And I really appreciate the fact that people love celebrating that holiday because they love celebrating Jesus. I think that's beautiful. We want to highlight the high holidays. So Christmas to us is kind of a minor holiday. So we don't celebrate in our house. We don't buy a tree. We don't put up lights. We bake cookies. But I usually bake cookies for other people, and we don't hang up wreaths, and we don't go to service on Christmas. I mean, we get together with family. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So during the season, what do we do instead? Because we do live in this, country, and Christmas is absolutely everywhere. We can't avoid it. We go to Disney, we see it. We walk down the street, we see it. We drive, we see it. We go shopping. You know what I'm saying. And pretty much I just said all of that stuff, and I fully agree. And like I said, it becomes more of a problem as my kids are getting older and trying to find who they are, their identity outside of their family. When I say outside, their identity is still in Messiah, and their identity does come from who we are as a family and how you're raised, but they're also forming their own personalities and their own identity, and they're seeking out who they are. They're not attached to us is what I'm saying. They're wanting to make more decisions, and that pool to fit in is pretty serious. So I did say that we do bake cookies, which we just love to bake. During the season, I don't know what it is. It's the cold weather. I just love to bake, and I do, and we'll make Hanukkah ones. I'm cool with that. I said we don't put up lights. Okay, this year we put up lights. My rule is it has to be white and blue, so we have white and blue lights. But my kids are getting their light fix. I mean, I could it's almost like I have to compromise, but at the same time I don't. Yesterday, for example, the kids wanted to watch Jingle All the Way and Elf. I was really torn, and I really wanted to take a nap, so I let that happen, and my daughter gets all excited. But the biggest thing this year, though, that is really helping the situation with the peer pressure and my preteens and teens is the fact that we are plugged into a congregation. I cannot stress that anymore, guys. If you are not plugged into a Messianic congregation, or you are not fellowshipping with other Messianic like-minded believers, you guys have to do this. Find people. I don't know how you can, or move to a city where there's some. I don't know. But in our congregation, we have a lot of teens, and we have a lot of kids, preteens, each other's age, and that is such to our benefit, because I was able to get my friend who's really good at party planning. I convinced her to do a party. And she's so good at it. And we are throwing a huge Hanukkah party. And my kids are actually really, really excited about this. Y'all can come. If you are in Tampa, you can all come. Everyone's invited. I will put a link down in the description box below at our congregation. You guys are welcome to come. It's open to the public. I've been inviting all my kids' friends. So last year for Hanukkah, I went and bought my kids presents for every single 8 days. That was great. Not doing it this year. Okay, the Hanukkah gift thing, that's a tradition. And there was one year that I actually did Hanukkah gifts for every single night. And my kids just recently said, can you please do that again, Mom? Please, please, please. It was so much fun. And so the reason I did Hanukkah gifts every single night, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, is because I was really into YouTube and I was really excited and everybody was doing videos about gifts. So I was like, let's do gifts. And guys, I am not a gift giver. I struggle so much with gifts. If I get you a gift card, know that I really thought about it, and that's a big deal for me. But I do want to get into some comments in some of these videos, and I went across all three and looked at all the different comments. We don't do Santa or anything that would be lying to our children. No decorations. We go to Christmas family stuff because, like you said, some things are just expected. We are still newish to celebrating the biblical feast, so I can't wait to invite family to these celebrations next year. Love your content. I hope that you can tell me if this person Zombie Fried Duck is on here watching this video. I would love to find out how it went with your family because this is from 3 years ago. But that is so true. Like when I was a kid and I found out about Santa Claus, I really hope your kids aren't listening. But then again, I think like if you're this far into the video, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I was so incredibly heartbroken because I felt like my parents had lied to me. And there was a thought that went through my mind during this time: if my parents are lying to me about Santa Claus during Christmas, linking it in to who Jesus was, are my parents lying to me about who Jesus is too? That was a thought. Next comment. First of all, love this video. It's so nice to see someone who shares growth in their faith and stands for convictions. That was from the Baptist homeschooler, and I thought that was cool. It was from someone who was Baptist. Like I said, there are so many denominations out there that are just so open to these high holy days. We have stepped back from Christmas completely. The origins don't suit us. Most people don't realize what they're celebrating. Gifts bring expectations. It is a cultural thing. Now, there is this idea of this Christmas tree, and the Christmas tree in and of itself is not pagan. It's what you do that makes it pagan. It's the actions and what you transform it to. So a Christmas tree, a tree with decorations on it in and of itself isn't pagan. It's the act and what you do with it. If you're going to start laying down presents and worshiping the tree and gifting the tree, okay, I would consider that not Christian or not biblical. You know what I'm saying? So just because you walk outside and there's lights. Now, I don't even know if I almost want to do a whole video on just Elf on the Shelf. Because it's really funny because I had a text message conversation with a friend. So I saw this video, right? And it was about the elf on the shelf, and the kids were so incredibly traumatized because the little sister pulled the elf on the shelf down from its location. The kids were crying and screaming, and they were just freaking out as if somebody was like bleeding. They're like, he's holding it. It will never fly again. And they're screaming. And I'm like, I sent this to my friend. And their response is, I told you there's something weird and creepy and demonic about these elves. And my response was, yeah, it's like a bad 1980s horror movie with claymation. And then I posted again, or Jim Henson puppets. Okay, because that's pretty creepy stuff. I do not know how many of us survived childhood with that in our faces. Okay, maybe that's why we're so desensitized. I don't know. Okay, you know? Anyway, this is from Alex Citron 5159. So honest and moving, I can affirm almost everything you are saying. Came to Yeshua at 19, was not officially part of a church for 25 years in Messianic congregations, but by God's grace did have a strong involvement in churches. Let's have less judgment and more love. Have never celebrated Christmas as an adult, but I enjoy it through others. Shalom and Messiah. I love that idea of unity. We have to balance. If you have convictions, you have to be able to hold on to those convictions, know why you're holding on to those convictions, and make the things that are exciting to you exciting to others and share it with others. And, you know, if somebody has a beef with you, have a conversation with them, you know, like, you know, if they bully you and they're nasty with you, that's one thing. But if they're open to having a conversation and looking at what you're looking at, have it. Okay? But there are some people out there that will like ride right over you, bully right through you. Okay? I had someone who just accused me and accused me and accused me a couple years ago. They would not let me have a word in. And I got so frustrated. And it was a man. And when I said to him, listen, why don't you have this conversation with my husband? Because at this point, it just felt like all he did was cut me off and accuse me. He refused to have a conversation with my husband about this and continued to say, I think that you may not be saved. Like that was one of his statements. But I had never said anything that would make him think that because he was just projecting what he thought I thought onto me. It was a whole thing, and people do this and it's bullying. It's like spiritual bullying. Okay, don't have conversations with those people. Do what I do. You could talk to my pastor. You could talk to my rabbi. I said you could talk to my husband. Usually they turn around and walk away because they don't want to deal with it, okay? I've learned that. Don't let those people bother you if that happens, but be open to talking to other people and sharing the things that are exciting to you. Make Hanukkah fun, encourage your children, make the high holy days fun. I don't know, that's all I really have to say with this video. I feel like it's kind of long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave me comments down below because I love doing these every year and finding out what you guys think. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and like I said, leaving the playlist up here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!